Hey, Vinod, how are you?
I am doing good. How are you, Roberto?
Good, good.
Awesome,
Hey
awesome.
everyone,
Hey, Josh.
Hey,
good
you
evening.
meeting with you first time.
Yes, yes. How are you, Vinod, Roberto? Hey, Vishruth. Hey, Prashant.
Yeah, hi Vinod, hi Roberto, hi Ayush, hi Prashant.
Hi guys.
Hey, Prashant. Good to see you. Today you finished last 30 days.
It was actually my 29th. I started a day late.
Okay,
I'll be
okay.
finishing my 30th day tomorrow.
Cool. How was it?
It was pretty nice. I did learn how to schedule my day in a way so that I do not miss my goals. That
Yeah.
was one thing. But yeah, I also wanted to write on a lot of topics, but always kept on procrastinating.
Yeah. Now you can. Now you can actually finish
Yeah, yeah.
all
Now
those
it,
exercises.
exactly. It forced me to write on a lot of those topics. So I did write some of them.
Nice, nice. So just to give you a background, um, Prashant, I was running a giveaway for Ship 30 for 30, and there are a couple of people in applied, and the story that Prashant shared was awesome. So my thought was anybody who is in web development and want to write, and this Ship 30 for 30 program is fantastic around that. So it changed my life, and Prashant, it will do exact same thing for you.
I think I'm already seeing those benefits.
Yeah.
By the way, did I tell you that one of my blog posts was shared? I actually only shared it on Hacker News and it got to the front page. And that was a very big moment for
Nice.
me.
Nice. I saw what there was another post which was gaining tremendous momentum. I don't know if it was Tana or something. I did comment on that. That's superb. Um, so
Yeah, it was about Clockseek, yes.
did you double down on those?
Um, did not, yeah, my first essay was on Lockseek. That gained a lot of traction. Then, yeah, I wrote a thread on the plugins of Lockseek.
Yeah.
I'll keep on writing on that because I do do talk a lot about Lockseek to all of my friends. I'll probably write about that.
Cool. All right. So let's start at 11:05. We'll go quickly with there are few new people. So let's quickly go through introduction. Roberto, why don't you go with your introduction?
Sure. What would you want me to talk about? Who
Just
am I and stuff general?
yeah, 30-second.
Okay, so I'm very interested in contributing to open source. So that's my inspiration right there. I have experience as a front end engineer, and I'm trying to learn back end so I can become a full stack. Pretty much that's my goal.
And you have 10 years working experience.
Around, yeah, like 10 years, something like that.
Okay. Um, Vishruth,
Yeah, hi Vinod, hi everyone. So I'm Vishruth. I have done my engineering in electronics and telecommunications, and right now I'm looking for a job. I was working in a company for like 6 months as a software engineer, and now I'm looking out to get a remote job or something in a good company.
thank you. Cool. Ayush,
Hi everyone. I'm Ayush Gandhi, and I'm 2022 graduate pass out, and I have total 11 months of experience in software engineering. And due to some medical reason, I had to quit my job, and
hmm.
so actually, I'm also looking for new opportunity in software engineering, and yeah, looking forward to contributing this project. Super excited.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Prashant, you next.
Hi guys, I'm Prashant. Living in India. I am an ST2 at a startup called FluTrack. I have about 1.5 years of experience. Mostly work in backend and a little bit experience in DevOps as well. really excited to start working with you on this project.
We are excited too. And then Raki, my wife.
Hi guys. So my experience was in HR totally, and this is now I'm changing my field with the business analyst, and I know Vinny is helping me to learn, and I spoke to Roberto as well. So I'm learning as well in this field and hoping to contribute to this project.
Awesome.
And then I will go last. I've been in software web development for 22 years, and it started with junior, then senior, then team leader, then manager, and then my current role is agile transformation and also handling, well, right now I'm handling a rebuild of Advent Health mobile apps and Advent Health account, which patient use to connect and see their data. So I'm working with about 50 to 60 different people that include product managers, engineering managers, front end, back end, and DevOps, so all combined. So I started mentoring web developer, and one other thing that I found that they have two problems. One is staying on focus and finishing their learning, and second, do a project that can help them apply the learning and then go from junior to senior, senior to lead by going through that end-to-end experience. And so I came up with this idea that why don't I create 5 different project idea, really detailed one, and this is first one in that series where I really like a website testimonial. And at my stage, that's what I've been thinking about. So I said, let's start with that project. So that's kind of the background. The end goal for you guys, from my perspective, is that by March end, we launch this project, we create enough momentum, we create enough learning so that you can talk about this in your job interviews. That's kind of the number one primary basic foundational goal for me is by March, I will gain enough clarity that how to run this, how to convert that into a course, how to convert that into a cohort that I can run for other people. Now, as Roberto and I spoke last time, by March 31st, we will have an opportunity to meet and decide what we want to do next. Do we want to build a version 2 of this application, or do we want to work on another project? Or hopefully by then, some of you guys already have a job and don't have enough time to do another project. So that's fine as well. My goal is to create enough momentum every week, every time I get chance to create the visibility, not only for this project, but also the team members. So that's where we are. That's my why behind it. All right, so I will go ahead and share my screen. What I had a brief outline of what we want to talk about. So sorry, Prashant, your name was not. All right, so attendees, I wanted to get a quick summary of the technical stack we have as of right now. I think the front end is React, and then back end is MongoDB. What other thing are we using?
So Abdulaziz, he created a PR right now. It's open. He added a Google service.
Yep.
I'm not sure. I know it's for the authentication, but it's on the back end so right now. So maybe we should consider like listed it, so we understand that that's how we're authenticating the users.
Okay. Yep. And we can talk about it here. So Google authentication, front end is React, Nest.js, right, on the back end.
Yeah, and on the front end, the framework is Next, yes.
Okay, Next, not React.
I mean, Next is React, but it's the framework.
Okay, got it. I'm new to this. My background was all .NET. And how about this? How about this? Work?
That looks good. I'll guess we understand that. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I will use some of these in my summary email or summary post. So that's why I wanted to correct. All right. Anything else that we are using right now? I was personally using Visual Studio Code to edit my local files. What you guys are using on your local machine?
Yeah, VS Code.
Okay.
For me, I am using CodeSpace, GitHub CodeSpace.
Okay.
I'm using NeoVim, but I don't think. Well, if you want to list it there, but I don't think this is like part of the project. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
just
that's fine.
our tool.
It's fine. Anything else that comes to your mind? Oops, what did I do? Okay. All right. So next one. We will go through different accomplishment that we have made during last week. I have listed some of mine and Raki's. And so maybe we can start with the technical updates from the last week.
Sure. So I like set up the module for connecting to MongoDB with the Nest framework in the backend, and then Abdulaziz just created the JWT support for authenticating the users.
JW.
T. With the Google library.
I wonder why he did not join. Let me see if I can figure. Okay, so this is gonna be first meeting. I'm excited. I like it. And I'm running it just like how we run it in my office or in one of the project teams. So I hope you gain that experience as well. Okay. JWT support. What else?
That's pretty much it. And then right now, right, and the rest is some documentation that we have already identified that we might need moving forward.
Okay. So that I will write here for next week. Documentation. We'll talk about that in a few. Okay. And then you also set up MongoDB, right?
Right, that's set up. So right now is like on a local environment. So if anybody will need to work with the backend, we'll have to have MongoDB installed. Maybe in the future we can set it up like with the cloud service of MongoDB. That way, like everybody can have
Connect.
access to it. You know what I mean?
What do we need to do for that?
Oh, just create an account on Mongo website, the official website, and they give us like the service.
And does it cost something?
I don't
No.
believe the cost is a free service.
Yeah, it
Maybe
is
in the
free.
future, right? If you want to like expand or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay. Create an account on MongoDB.
We have to also download MongoDB Compass. That's an app for setting up.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I'm not too familiar with the backend. I just know how to use it. You know what I mean? Maybe Vishnu knows more about this than I.
I
What was the
think we
name
also
again?
need mongoose, right?
What was the name of that?
MongoDB Compass. It's Mongo, Mongo.
M?
Ongo. Yeah, it's Mongo.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
MongoDB's Compass. Create an account on
I
this.
think we also need mongoose, the npm package, right?
Yeah, for that Mongoose is also needed, but that is an npm package, so that is fine.
Right. Yeah, but we need to set up in a local machine, right?
Okay. This is an idea. All right. Okay. Around local machine setup, I spoke to Murugeshwari. How do I pronounce her name? Murugeshwari. So I spoke to Murugeshwari and I asked her to watch this YouTube video that me and Bebe created that walk us through how to set up Git. So basically set up GitHub not the setup, GitHub repository, local folders, etc. So that's another step for I think some of the new member was facing that challenge as well. But I believe everyone have their local machine set up. So Vishrud, you said you're using the code online environment, which is fine. And there is a video I can show you real quick. Yeah, GitHub local setup. This is the video that Bibek helped me. Bibek is one of the DevOps manager in my company, and he helped me walk me
Does that make
through.
sense?
And also when he helped me walk through. So this video can be used if somebody want to set up their local machine. So adding that link. Okay, all right. So these are the technical update. Anything else? Cool. I saw some of the there's some GitHub discussions are happening as well. Carla is trying to get Carla and Murgeshwari, they both are trying to get into the coding and starting. So cool. Then let's jump into this one. I use this tool. It called Lucid Spark. We use it in the office, in my office. We don't have to stick to this, but I thought I was able to use some of the component from my office, and it is for us to kind of illustrate what's happening, how different things are happening. And one of the things that I wanted to should I use the word mentor, teach, whatever the word, but when you work on a project, there is a technical aspect, and then there is a requirement and business aspect of it. And some of these elements, some of the element is typically helpful for a project team when they are working on a bigger project or working with multiple people. And at this point, I want to share in a story that how I was able to convince her that she worked in HR and all, and she was never interested in coding. or what I do. But in this case, I asked her if she want to be a business analyst, and I shared high-level idea that as a business analyst, you basically take one line requirement and you break it apart into detail. And this is my opportunity to work with her for the first time in one of the software project. And the best part, she's liking it, she's helping. So awesome. This is the outcome of our discussion. And I will start here. This section shows that there is a sign-in page. First time you create an account, meaning you put the registration.
Clients, not the user, just the.
Yes, yes. The person who is creating.
Yeah,
this.
who's getting the testimonies.
Yeah. So that email verification, and then you land on the homepage. If you already have an account, you go directly to homepage. Then you go to select a product. You either create a product, which I missed. So this type of tool allow you to just think is very fast, instead of thinking, go deeper into each and every page. For example, here, I was able to create that think through that I will need a create product page. And then from that product, you select a product and then you submit a testimonial. And then if you're talking about a user, then there will be some kind of profile page. So this type of structure allow you to see how your user, your client, whoever is using the website will flow, how your data will flow, how your information, the navigation of this one person will follow through. So that's one aspect, and we call it feature map and feature flow, right? The other thing is work breakdown structure. Now, there are two variations of work breakdown structure. And again, this is more on the educational side, that when there are two ways that you can do a project. Number one is waterfall. That's a conventional style of project development, where you start with planning, design, and then you have all the requirements end to end completed. Then you start working on the project, and then at the end you build, you test that product. So, but nowadays with Agile, we pick a feature, we analyze, we design, we build, and then we QA right there. And we go by, at least in my office, we go by 2-week cycles. And in that 2 week, we try to finish all this. Anyway, before jumping into the WBR, when we used to do work breakdown structure, we used to do in this fashion. But now you will see that at the top, there are features, and then under those features, there are detail of those features, and not like this, that plan, what we are doing in planning stage and what we are doing in we should go ahead.
So is it like a 2 weeks, like the sprint thing, like a 2 week sprint that you have to go through, where you build something in 2 weeks?
Right. In general, in the team who use Scrum, typically they go by 2 week. But in our case, we are not using that. We are more like Kanban team right now. So we are still dividing the work, but at the same time, we will not use a Scrum methodology.
Okay.
Yeah. So with that background, what I've done here, go ahead, Roberto.
Why not? Why don't you think it could be useful if we adapt to our agile environment?
Yes, we will do agile environment using Kanban style, but not Scrum style, and I will tell you why. In a Scrum environment, they are more successful when you have a very tight team working together. In our case, Roberto, right now we're just starting. Some of the members are just trying to figure out. I mean, some of them are just figuring this the surface and scratching the surface. But I anticipate that maybe in a few weeks we will be in the stage where everybody's more entwined with this project. So that's why. But
All right.
it would have been good. But the difference is in Scrum, every 2 weeks, you pick the work for that next 2 weeks. And then you made a commitment. So that commitment comes from each and every person, not one person. And most of the time, it's great if everybody is in the same meeting and they are estimating and all, which we will achieve at some point. But the other way is Kanban, where you meet weekly, and then you build your board that this is the prioritized board. These are the prioritized thing. And then as different people get time, they can work on. It's still the idea that we will try to see what we can finish in this next 1 week.
Oh, I understand.
Yep. So again, going back to it, when you talk about WBR, it's level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Most of the time, the level 1, well, level 2 and 3 tells what you are doing. And typically level 4 is where you get into the detail is how you're doing. So level 1, testimonial site, that's our why. And then here, the first level of the breakdown, that it will have some kind of authentication, security, then managing the testimonial, and then at some point we will have membership and all. And then the part that I have not included is all around DevOps, that GitHub setup, the cloud setup, or wherever we will deploy. So I will add that at some point. I felt like probably didn't have that time yesterday, but this is so this project is now divided into 3 big buckets, right? Authentication, management of the testimonial, which is kind of the core, and then membership and payment. Now, under each, we divide that even further. So this authentication is divided into 3 pieces: create account, forget password, user profile, application security. So this whole flow, then second is this, and then underline the application security. And as Abdul is using Google authentication, some of those elements will be built in, and we don't have to worry about some of the underline, but we still have to ensure that the application is secure. And so from 1 to 3, and then each one is now being divided, right? That we have application security, all that. Similarly here, you have list, testimonial list. I guess I forgot the product part. And then under each, how you gain the application security is by creating some kind of token, validating each and every page, some kind of data encryption, some kind of application audit log. Similarly, how you're going to do this, this part is all that piece divided into a smaller chunk. Same thing here, managing how you're going to do that with this. So the idea is you take the work, you divide, you break that work into small pieces, you then break those work into even more smaller pieces, and that's how it works. That's why it called work breakdown structure. It was there in the conventional project management, conventional application development, and it is here with the agile project or the developments. Cool. So I have been talking for last 10 minutes or even more. So any question?
No, not from my side.
Cool. Okay. All right. Then I will finish one more thing here. I have let me introduce to somebody. Her name is Himanshi, and I've been talking to her for some time now. I am hoping that he reached out to me with her desire to be the UX person for this project. She has done some work. She has 6 months of experience. I'm not able to connect to her. She was not available today to join. But I am hoping that she will be able to help us with this project. So as soon as I will connect, we'll have her involvement. Meanwhile, as a business analyst, Rakhi was able to create these. Again, I was trying best to not confuse her with the technology and everything. But at some point, she planned to convert that using Lucid in a electronic version. But for now, she drew on a notebook, piece of paper, notebook. And then, so Rakhi, do you want to go over these and share what's your thought process behind it?
Okay. I might be not prepare very well today, guys, but just so once when he told me about the requirement for the testimonial, I tried to get the idea like what we can present as the person who is providing us the testimony or as the person who is getting the testimony. So I divide this two part of the whole process. So once we go with the customer side, because as of now they are the one who needs our test. They are the one who is using our website to get the testimony. So first, when they are approaching us first time, they will sign up themselves. I try to make very simple thing, not like too complicated for the client. I'm just using word the client, so we understand that client and the user. So when I'm talking about the client, that is the person who is getting our testimony. So when the first time they approach to our website, they can create an account, and I'm trying to ask a minimum information behalf of them. So it's just like their name or username, their password. They can repeat the password for the security purpose, then email and contact number. And once they sign up, once they sign and they create their account, whenever they log in and they can just use their username and password, 2 things. And then there is a down window. They can just use OK and forget password. Very simple thing for them. Now, once they go to the next page, like once we go to the next page, this is the page we are creating for them. So if they are the repeat user or they are coming back, like the second time, third time, this one will be the page look like. And the first time also is a link, but kind of like a blank page. So there's a home screen. They can enter their product information, their information, like the client information, their history or their biography kind of thing, and their sign out page. And over here in the page, we have like a product 1, product 2, product 3. So depend on how many products they are using it to get the testimony, we can divide the screen between that. And if they have like just 2 products, we can just like, separate the screen with two product. And so they can just click on that product and get the they can get the they can create that. And once they create their, when they choose the product, they can go to the create page, and in the create product page, they have product information, product name, home, login, product link. So we have to provide that. They have to provide us the link for the product, then the description, product name, description, URL, product page, and then upload. all these information, and then they can just create the product, and then that product goes back to the, so like if product one, it can be here, it's just like the information for the product. So, and this is the, when they are creating the product, those the information they need. I need to work more on that, like make it more clear, and I will work on that. So this is one, I think we need to add more. Then I have a couple of more pages which I download soon, or I think this is very, give us some time. I prepare everything here, but I will use the Lucid and make it like more professional by this week, and present that to you. So this is like the outline, and then in the same, when the user comes to our site, it is very simple. They can they will come to our site. It's like the testimonial free side, and then we have like some kind of like a example testimonial on the screen. Then they go to the client, like which client they want to be. They can scroll down to the person they want to provide the testimony. They click on there, they go to the page, they write their testimony, they enter their name, and then they enter their email address for the verification, like they are, and then that just the OK button to submit the testimony. And then once they submit the testimony, they go to the thank you page, like the final page where we are just writing that the thank you for your testimony. The user will be the person who they write the testimony, will send them the thank you or whatever if the user wants to. And we can set the email verification if the person is right or not, right or wrong, like, just for the confirmation that is the right person who is who provide the right testimony, like just for the like verification, user verification. So that is the email we can send if the customer want, like if the client want us to get the verified testimony. So those are the like like big picture of the whole event. So I will definitely, with help of all of you, will create a make it like, I will try to make make it little bit more professional way. I will use Lucid. If you guys know any other function or any other platform I can learn, I will try my best to learn and use it. But as of now, I know because Vinny suggested me Lucid, so I will use Lucid and create that whatever the draft I made it on the page, I will try to create the same draft on the Lucid and make it like a little bit more easy to understand and clear. Yeah.
I'm so proud. This is your first project as a business analyst. So thank you so much for helping. Any follow-up questions for Raki?
I have one. Well, it's more like a suggestion. Let me see if I can share my screen.
Yeah.
Let me change that setting.
I know about the day you also explained, but just.
Okay, now you should be able to.
Oh, give me 1 second to get it up here. Okay, so share entire screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So I use a tool called Whimsical. I'm not familiar with Lucid. You're the one using, but I know Whimsical gives us the frameworks,
Okay.
the wireframes, right? Like text and icons and little buttons, like it's all right here. And then, like for example, for a phone, for a tablet, for a window itself. So maybe like if you want to create the float itself, look, I tried to do my website in this way too, right? Like the sitemap and
this is
the
cool.
Huh?
Yeah, this is very nice. I like it. I would like to learn more about it.
Yeah, because it's very simple and straightforward to understand.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Like it is also an open source.
Yeah.
Is it an open source too? Look, I mean, from the look, it looked like an open source.
Yes, it is. They have more features to create like more boards, and then you have to pay for that. But this board is like infinite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I use this one to create my little projects and stuff like that, and it's very useful because it has all kinds of icons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
And
computer.
you can play around. You can add images, create like mocks and stuff like that. So I think that's very useful if you wanna start getting to
Definitely.
wireframes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lucid is exactly like this, but if you guys are more
No,
comfortable with
I'm
this
more
tool,
comfortable with
then
this
you
whimsical. I
can-
will definitely,
Yeah.
Right.
go around with this one today. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Lucid is same. You get 3 pages for free, and then
Yeah.
after that you pay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to make it.
Oh, I just saw a question from Ayush. Can you give me more detail about why are we creating this product? So the reason we are creating this product is, I guess, twofold. Number one, what is in it for me? And then number two is what is in it for you guys. So for you guys, the reason you want to do this project or reason we are doing this project is to build something, apply all your knowledge, and as part of that, learn and talk about this project is in your next interview. When I went for, it's been 22 years, but after CDEC, when I went for my interview, before that interview, I was worried that there are 300 other people who will get me, who will hire me versus all other excellent people who was there for those jobs. But what happened, this hiring manager was talking to me and we started talking about my project that was a CDEC academic project, and I was very passionate about it. And we talk about technology, we talk about why we choose that technology, how did I come up with an idea, how did I overcome some of the technical challenge, some of the business challenge, and I got that job. Not only that job, but 2 other jobs. So from the point where I was worried whether somebody will hire me, I will actually in the situation that I had to choose between those 3 jobs. So I'm just applying that principle here, that we build something that give you that end-to-end exposure. And that's the reason I was explaining those WBR and different flow and all, is to give you an idea that what is the end-to-end thinking process beyond the coding part, right? So that's the reason we are doing this project. And for me, I want to come up with a course or a cohort around taking web developer from point A to point B, and this may be the format that I will use for my paid course. But right now everything is for free. We are helping each other. So did that answer your question, Ayush?
Actually, actually, I think you misunderstood my question.
Oh.
Actually, as Raki was like showing us the wireframes, and she mentioned like whenever a customer will log in and he will see the home page, like product page. Like, so I was asking about that product. Like, what is this
Oh.
product?
Oh.
Yeah.
I should have asked you
Thank
to
you for your
explain.
answer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
May I answer that?
Yeah,
And
sure,
you
sure.
correct me if I'm mistaken. So maybe it's because the testimonies, right? The references of sorts is for projects that we be working on, and then that way we have like social proof on our projects, right?
Yeah.
And then that way I can present my project, for example, in Product Hunt, and say you can see the references and testimonies of people who have used my product here, and then you reference them to testimonial free, and then they have like the product is there and all the references to that product. You know what I mean? Is that something that like that is working?
Yeah. Yeah. So as an example, in my case, I just released this email course, and it will be great if I can show a couple of testimonial on that page, which I'm already doing, right? So whoever, like the big courses and all, they have like 10 to 100 of testimonial on their page, and they collect those testimonial for different product that they have. In my case, example, the email course will be my product, and I will collect the testimonial for that product. So that's why we create this product.
So basically it is for the digital product, all like our target clientele will be the people who is using all the, like, you know, in the Twitter and the YouTube, they are they are producing their new product, they are launching their new product, and the people who is using their product, and so get like more authentication and like reliability onto their product, they will use our testimonial site, and where their customer put their testimonial, and the new user or the person who can see that, and they can get the testimonial, and then they can put those testimonial on their product page. So basically right now we are targeting the digital product. If I make it in the like a simple term, Ayush, so when you go to market, you buy some, like, you know, whatever, like in Amazon, if you buy some product, and so they want the client want, like the person who's selling for the marketing purpose, they want the testimonial and reviews to attract more people. Like if I go to Amazon and if I buy something, I obviously all the time first read all the reviews, which give me like a clear understanding is if the product is good or not. So it's the same approach we are taking it toward the digital product for the people who is like, you know, they are launching their digital product or anything they are launching. Yes, please, Ricardo.
I'm sorry, I was just saying hi to the new.
Hey, Mitlesh, welcome.
Yeah. So Ayush, did we answer
Yes,
your
yes.
question?
Yeah. We know then, Rakhi. Thank you. I got the idea.
Did we over answer your question?
Yeah,
I know I did. All right, so let's go back to, actually, we'll take a second. Mitlesh is here. So Mitlesh is my friend from engineering. He has been working in different capacity in different companies. And recently he finished his PMP exam. PMP is one of the big certification that project managers do. And it's a very hard exam, which Mitlesh just finished. So he's changing his career, or trying to change his career from his current job to a project management or DevOps or in that role. So I asked him if he would like to be engaged and help us as a project manager. So he did. So some of the things that I'm doing right now is probably that Mitlesh will handle in future. So Mitlesh, I will give you an idea that what we have done so far is we did some introductions, technical stack, some of the update from last week, and then I was just covering a Lucid page that Rakhi and I have created to show how this website will work. And then we was talking about the work breakdown structure that I have created, and I was giving that in the waterfall, the work breakdown structure is designed. The top layer is like this, but in Agile, the top layer is features, which is what we have done. And then we was talking about these wireframes that Rakhi has designed. So that's where we are when you joined. All right, so let's go to the next item. The username password for this Lucid is here. You can create your own account and then this hyperlink will work, or you can just use the login name password that I have created for myself. I just wanted to remove the constraint and resistance so that you guys can move faster. I have taken some screenshot from the testimonial website just to see how they have designed their website. So as part of, go ahead.
Maybe I'm working with another organization, and what they have is an email that everybody can access. And for example, if I will need to create an account for Testimonial Free, then I will use that email that we all have access to. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah, I can come up with that. That's a good idea. Maybe I can create testimonialfree@gmail.com.
Right.
So reason I have not created that yet, because at some point I wanted to come up with more catchy name for this website than
Oh, I
just
see.
using testimonial free. So if you guys have some catchy name that we want to use, maybe we can then secure those email address and domain name. I did buy testimonial free for now. Yeah, Vishruth.
Yeah, and I also feel that testimonial free as like name wise is also not so good, like not that catchy. And second thing is there is like lots of websites which are free, like for example, link free, that
Mhm.
Eddie's link free.
Yeah,
So
I got inspired by Eddie actually.
yeah, but the thing is, if we put link like testimonial free, then it's like,
Hmm.
somewhere it's like we are just, and plus the
Yeah.
thing that Eddie also has a testimonial thing, he's adding up testimonial thing into his link free. So
Okay. Yeah.
hmm.
So guys, this will be very helpful for you. When I came up with this idea, I just wanted to make progress on the main idea rather than stucking myself into the name. So Eddie and I was talking, we was in this one coffee Google Hangout, Google team meeting. And so
Generally it's called coffee chat these days.
yeah, but this was a Google Meet video chat, not this one. So anyway, the point is, I didn't want it to stuck at the name. Rather than I pick whatever name came to my mind, and I keep making progress, because GitHub and then bringing the team together and then expanding the idea was more important at that point than just the name. So, hey, Abdul.
Yeah, Abdul.
Can you paste that link, screenshots from testimonial website on this chat on Zoom so I can explore it?
Yeah. It is. Those screenshots is in my Snagit, so I have to reduce the quality and then upload to somewhere. So I will do that. I will do that.
Is it possible we can make like group on the Discord so we can have like
Yeah, we could. So I have created this group. Originally, a month ago, I created this group as a paid service, but then I realized that I didn't wanted to manage this extra extra thing. I started putting more time in my this thing, the project and writing. So there is a Discord that already there. Some of the people already joined. How do I copy the invite? Copy the invite. Actually, I sent a message yesterday or sometime. So you can use that and join this. It is it's in the team. I have a landing page as well. But to answer your question, yes, we can. And Abdul, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
We talk about all the people who are joining, and then we had a quick introduction. We had some of the update. technical updates, and then I started showing this Lucid page that I shared with everyone in the team chat. We also talk about the flow and work breakdown structure, and then some of the screens. And then we start talking about that I have taken some screenshots and update. Abdul, I want to go back to some of the technical update. I have captured that. Where did I capture? I forgot where I captured, but I did capture your update around Google Auth. So wanted to ask you, do you have any update for the team from the last week?
Well, no, nothing yet. I just implemented the Google Auth, which I pushed today.
Okay. Yeah, so we did talk briefly about it. So the idea, in fact, the idea behind using Google authentication and not us is, number one, it reduced the amount of work we will have to do. Plus, if we use Google Auth, I believe Thana does it, many people does it. So simplify their login process and give a more secure experience to your users. So, Abdul, I do want to ask you, if you want to explain, maybe in 30-second, 3-minute, whatever you want, is to why you suggested using Google Auth. And the reason I'm asking this question is to give an idea and an experience that when you will talk about this project in your interview, your interviewer, your hiring manager may ask similar question, and those are the time when you can explain these, right? The decision-making process, what was in your mind. And then also when you work in bigger team, you will use the same skill to convince other people with your idea. So with that, I want to give you an opportunity to explain why you selected Google Auth and compare to other option, and what other option you have explored.
Well, first of all, I selected Google Auth because almost everybody has a Google account, and it shortened the process of having to type username, put email. Then with a click of button, you can able to sign up.
Good points.
Yeah. And there is also Twitter has Auth, and there is Facebook Auth or Auth login. But I just found that the Google Auth is much more easier to implement.
Okay.
Which is better, and with time we can able to implement other auths.
Right. Thank you. You did amazing.
Thank you.
Anybody has a follow-up question for Abdul about Google Auth? That's another thing that an experience that I want to give. Okay, cool. All right, so let's keep going. We are almost over already, but I will take few minutes to finish up some of the thing. Murugeshwari couldn't join, but she gave some her update that Carla and her are trying to set up the machine, and they will work on their login page or some other. Oh, here was it. I knew. All right. So with those update, I want to talk about what's the plan for the next week. One of the item that is in my list is talking about the GitHub branching strategy, meaning we have Murugeshwari, we have Abdul, Roberto, they all will be working on this project, and in my work, at my work, we have a development branch, then we have a testing branch, and then we have a production branch. And I believe we have a feature branch as well. So anytime somebody you work on the feature branch, then it merge into development branch, and then testing, and then production. So that's kind of the sequence that we follow. So I want to ask, what strategy should we pick? Let's start from the point where, let's say Murgeshwari want to start working on login page. So what branch should she create, and how that works?
She'll create a branch called maybe backend /auth, then /login. Basically, she'll just create a branch with the name of what she's doing.
Okay, so let's say feature branch, name of the feature or page. We can keep it like this, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that will be fine.
Okay, and after that, the next one would be, should we say development branch, which is like, if somebody's done with that work, it merge into the development, which is what we can deploy and test, as a integration. Changes from all different people are working together.
Yeah, the branch is main. I think the development branch is main, which we are currently merging all the changes to, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, go ahead, Roberto, go ahead.
So yes, so all of the developers should make the merges to the develop branch, and then only Juvenile will be in charge of merging to main. That way, we'll keep like more structured data. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's okay with me, but sometimes I get busy and I don't want you guys to slow down because I'm so busy. Again, at my office, we do a peer person, but we can start with that. We can try that, and at some point we can come up. So we can keep these two branch. I think at some point we will have to think about what's in the production will be slightly behind what we have in the main, because the main branch is where we are working constantly. It's the latest and greatest, but what we have in production may be 10-day old or something, because the other features are not yet ready to release. But we can cross that bridge when we will be there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, I want to talk about what's the gap we have at this point. I do see Roberto, Abdul, you guys are working miles while other team members are stepping up, which is fine. But at a very high level, what are the gaps that you see? What are the things that we can do differently?
So I think that if we just create, I don't know if you can go to the mind map that you made real quick. That one. Yeah. So maybe if I'm working with another organization and they have like a structured way, like a standardized way to create issues. So if I'll put an example in the GitHub page, and if we create the issues and like we organize, then even if it's slow, like I understand right now, Abdulaziz is working, I'm working. I think Clara is doing research and stuff like that. So just to like have a backlog, you know what I mean? That way,
right?
whoever wants to pick up something, we will assign who's working on what. That way, new contributors don't take the same tasks. And because this way, I mean, it's an open source project, you know what I mean? So I don't think we're able to put too much pressure on the contributors.
Yeah.
If we have the whole backlog, and maybe we can flag them with good first issue or something like that, we can. There is I think it's called Hacktoberfest. It's run by DigitalOcean every, I don't know, once in a while. So if we also tag them as Hacktoberfest, GitHub pushes them and like advertise the issues based on tags. So that way we can put out there the issues, but having like the backlog loaded, ready to go. That way, when I'm finished something, I can just start with the next thing, and when like that, you know what I mean. But have everything documented and on GitHub so everybody can see.
So this will be the list, right? It's in the issues, and this will become the list there.
Right. I believe number 15 will be closed with this PR. Right. As soon as we merge this PR that is open right now, that'll be done. And yeah, like that. Like I created those like real quick, breaking up the one you created first.
Okay.
As a customer of Testimonial free website allows secure login. So all those four are for to breaking down that one in smaller tasks. So, but yes, this is basically all these issues are only one feature, and then with other feature, every feature can be what is it called, a milestone, and then every milestone can have like 6 or 7 tasks that we can be working on. But you
And
know
then-
what I mean?
Right. And I can use the label to indicate what area it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and second thing is if like you put good first issues, so there is a website called Good First Issues. If you go, so you can find all the good first issues in different, yeah, good first issues. Yeah, .io, I guess. Good. No, second one, not the first one, second one. Yeah, so like this. So all these like if you go any of these like GitHub projects, so all of these are open source projects. And according to, for example, if Roberto is good with JavaScript, if he clicks on JavaScript, like on the browse my by language like panel, so you will find all the projects that have good first issues related to JavaScript or anything which is more related to web development part.
Okay.
So if you go, so it's like for new contributors, it's a very good thing that you can find it out.
Yeah. I will show you. I will show you where I am struggling. So this is there's nothing sensitive here. What I'm trying to show. Okay. These are just project and their description. These are different things that we are doing at my work. So we use Jira, and what we do here, that we have epics, and these are kind of the bundle of the work, right? These are the feature, scheduling feature, UI, or different other things. And then we have list of items, and with each item you can see that this is part of Preskeni. So if I select that, this is one piece of the work, and with each we will have a lot of description and details, and then this is that epic. So for that epic, these many items, under each item there will be some details. So this is, I couldn't figure out how to develop that, how to build, and I lost the window. How to develop that here, right? We know the task, we have all these tasks, right? And what's going to happen is this one item will become the epic, And then under that epic, we will have bunch of stories, and under these stories there will be tasks. So that's the part that Roberto is saying, that we have to create this type of backlog under here so that anybody and everybody can kind of pick one item. It will have all the detail, and they can start coding and finish and pull request.
Right.
So my problem too, one is my office is currently very demanding, so I'm not able to spend the time that this need. And then second, how to do this, how to do everything that I can do in Jira in here. And I think I will be able to figure it out. So hopefully by late this week, you will have more items that are listed here. All right, so let's keep going. So I was trying to figure out what's the gap. So gap is GitHub issue backlog is one of the work distribution. We briefly talk about it, and then Roberto, you were saying some documentation in the beginning of this call.
We already identified some needed documentation, like to get people on board with the project. So, for example, in the README, we should add a section on how to set up the repository on a local machine. I opened an issue for that, and I left some references that I think are like perfect displaying how we do it. And the other one was the current documentation, right? We have a bunch of information about the application right now, but I believe it's like a scatter, right? Because I've noticed that some of like the same topic is being talked about in more than one discussion. So I think I tried to reach out to Heather. She mentioned that she was going to help us out with the documentation.
Yeah,
I tried to ask her if she could, because I'm not sure. I'm not good at writing documentation.
No,
right?
I will take the load. She's moving to Spain and she has very less time. So what we have today is some documentation here.
I can also contribute for the documentation part, because the thing is, like if like the time before the front end starts, it's a bit,
Yeah.
so I can just try it out. I can just like, it's like we can rather than putting like text more, we can add more pictures to the steps, so that if we add more pictures, then it will be very interactive, plus people find it easier to understand it when they have see pictures.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, Vishrat and Roberto, that right now we have some information in Wiki, some information originally I put in discussions, and then some information here. So what I am thinking, that I will move all that information under this doc folder and delete it from Wiki. And I think we can still keep this README file, but this will hyperlink to the detailed document under the doc.
Right. That way, we all have a one single source of truth.
Yeah. So I will consolidate that information, and Vishrut, you can definitely help me with that. And then that's where Raki can also write the requirements.
I think I created another documentation folder inside the backend folder for in case you want to check the use of this folder, like what Roberto said I should do now. So I'm currently creating the documentation for the auth controller.
Okay, so do
I created
we
another
want
folder.
to keep all documentation under doc, and then you can have either a file or a technical?
I find it more organized if the backend documentation stays in the backend folder, then the front end documentation stays in the front end folder. Then the documentation for the app, everything then now stays in the whole root.
I believe so too. If we, because specifically documentation for features and stuff like that should be linked to
yeah, and more of a the basic project running steps, like basically npm install for installing the all the dependencies, and then npm run start to just run that on your system locally, And for MongoDB, we need something like those commands, those specific commands which are generalized commands for the whole testimonial free app should be written on the first README file. And as Roberto and Abdul said, we can divide the other things in backend and front end part in the backend and front end folders.
We just link them to the README. Look, can you open the issues tab?
Yeah.
And then that one, getting started tutorial.
Okay.
And then I scroll a little bit down. Right there, the references. Right there. Open a little. Yeah, right. Those links right there. Click on the look setup section on README. That one.
Okay.
The other one. Well,
Sorry.
that one. And then I scroll down a little bit to the README file. Look how they're expanding. I scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
To how to set up, right there, setup. Look how they explaining how to set it up, how to install it, how to clone it, how to run it in the local machine. They also go into depth on what each file is doing. Not too into depth, just like a general, right? Like these are a very important files. You should always be in the looking out for them and stuff like that.
Oh, nice. I want to build I wanted to build a page for us, like our picture and some 2-line description. So I want to do that too. Okay, all right. I like this. I really like this. And Vishrit, you're welcome to help me with this. So we got this. I want to capture issue getting started. Some tips here.
And plus one more thing, that if we put some of the issues as good first issues, so people will automatically, for those small tiny issues that we face, not right now, maybe in the future, or maybe like right now also, after some time, if we face some tiny issues, we can label it as good first issues, and automatically it will be going out into the site that I told you about, so people will come and contribute by themselves. So as that like, if that moves forward, then we don't have to do much of work. People themselves will come and contribute as they want to do it, open source contributions.
Okay. All right. So anything else for the next week? Any other plan? Anything else that we should add as a plan?
Perhaps we can put like an action item on start setting up the front end connection to the back end, because we waited this week because there was no back end, but now the API is running. Maybe we could like set up the front end connection, and perhaps like a development server that will be in production, but for development purposes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So anything else?
Well, nothing for now.
Okay. And then for my side, I will be writing this. I will be writing a summary of this meeting. I will be posting on Twitter and other places. I want to create good momentum around this project. So I will do that. I will also upload this Zoom recording. And then one of the things that I wanted to start doing, and I wasn't sure if I will get momentum or not. What did I do? Oh, sorry. I wanted to start, we talked about this last time. I wanted to start sending this tweet in the morning or evening, and everybody respond what I did yesterday, what's my plan for today, and what's the blocker. So I want to ask to the team, are we kind of at this part where we do this every day, or wait?
Maybe we can be doing it weekly.
We can do that weekly, yeah. I mean, weekly, I'm going to send the summary anyway, but that's fine. My goal behind that is some kind of people will start kind of become curious about it, what these guys are doing, right? Yeah. Like in Shop 30 for 30, they send this bombard with this pictures with the essays, and then people will start thinking about what's going on. But that's fine. I guess we can wait another week and we'll see what we want to do around that.
Also, can maybe all these texts and all this that we're talking about is very helpful. Maybe we should put it. I send you a link on the chat. Maybe we should put it on the discussions. I open a discussion for the planning on the meetings, and that way people who were not on this meeting are able to go through it, and understand what we did, and perhaps even the video link or something like that.
Yeah, so that I will do that. And I will add, so last week, have you seen what I did last time? I summarized it and I did different things, but I like this one too. So planning, how do I? Okay.
New discussion.
New discussion or just respond
Right.
to the?
Not like new discussion, and then I will suggest to name it like the date that we had the meeting, and then inside the description, like all that, yeah, just to have like a reference, you know what I mean?
Yeah, perfect. I love it. Weekly team meeting.
Right.
Weekly team meeting on. Today is Feb 5. 2023. There are so much spelling and grammatical mistake, and then copy paste didn't work properly, but that's fine. Okay, all right. Back and Roberto with a capital. Okay, I can check.
Can you add my name in the attendees list?
Sorry?
You have not added my name.
You're right.
Yeah.
Your name is there.
Oh, actually, I'm Ayush.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was not looking at my screen at that time. Okay. All right, so I will start the discussion and then I can go back and change some of the formatting, but at least there. Cool. Before we disconnect, I want to take a selfie of us, whoever can share their cameras. Prashant is not here, but I will try to put his picture. Okay. All right. So I will take a selfie. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. Before we disconnect, anything else we want to talk about? All right. Have a great day. This was a very good meeting.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.